Welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of the Ballrooms and Bachelors podcast, where we talk about dance, life, and all things Bachelor. I'm Camille.
And I'm Matthew.
So on today's episode, we're just going to do a quick update, just about what's going on this past week. Not too much, but we really want to dive into the 2 episodes of Bachelor in Paradise. So, so I'll just get us started.
Okay.
I guess updates, really, we just wanted to thank everyone that has watch the first episode
Yes.
since we've been back, or just, they saw our post that we were coming back. Thank you guys all for your support.
Yes. Thank you so
So
much.
exciting to see.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
when we posted, I was like, oh my gosh, we have so many views compared to season 1. So I'm like,
No,
either it's us
exactly.
just watching it back again and again, like portions of it, or it's we just wanted to thank everybody.
Yes, yes, for sure. It's crazy like how much response we got because again, it was like so out of nowhere because of obviously like we talked about in episode 1 how random
Mhm.
this idea was. So yes, thank you guys so much again. It really means a lot for sure.
Yeah, and after we had recorded, we went to the dance studio. We had I had a lesson. Matthew had he did the group class. We
Mhm.
did the party, and then we went out to eat with a group of friends, and we were talking about the podcast. I think we're trying to convince some of them to watch Bachelor in Paradise. So we'll see who sticks.
We'll see what happens.
But I think I'm just gonna put out there that if you watch the show, there's a greater likelihood we'll have you on as a guest. I'm just saying. So I'm just gonna drop that right there.
And you'll like we talked about last week, you'll get what we're talking about. Because a lot of times, like we'll have our friends come up to us at the studio,
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you were saying this," but I have no idea what you're talking about. So it pays
Yeah.
off to actually watch the show, so then you can be like, "Oh, okay, I can like put 2 and 2 together." So there's a benefit to it.
Yes. So I mean, and we'll still have people on for dance stuff, but
Yes.
So I think the other thing really like I haven't been at the studio that much this week because I just went for my lesson the other day and it was like odd time of the day. So I really haven't overlapped with anybody in person to like chat about anything, and you're away.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's really all the updates I have. So I don't know if you want to just fill everybody in anything exciting that you've got going on.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
we'll dive in.
yeah. Like you had said, I'm away. I'm actually visiting my grandparents in Texas, so that's been really fun. I haven't been down here for a few years, so it's nice to kind of just get a new vibe. There's a lot of great food here in Texas, obviously. So I've been getting a lot of eating on and everything, so that's been really nice. But I have missed the studio, obviously. I last week I did a lesson with Elena on Friday, so the day before, a day or two before I flew over here. I did another lesson and we continued working on our showcase. It's still kind of up in the air if we're going to perform at that mini match. That's kind of our goal, but well, not only, we're like 2/3 of the way done with the choreography, but mini match is in like 2 weeks. So, or 2.5 or however long. It's coming up quickly. Um, so I think our goal is to hopefully try to do a few lessons this upcoming week when I get back. And if we can do
Mhm.
that and we feel like it's not too rushed, we'll try to perform at that mini match and then maybe sometime later, like at a bigger competition or something like that at the end of the year. But that's pretty much just the updates with dance. Like I had said again like I said last week, the routine is really, really important to me. And I've just really loved the choreography that we've come up with. It's something that I think it's really cool. Just because again, it's a very personal story to me. So when you're actually able to kind of like correlate the choreography with
Yeah.
like what you've gone through, I could probably say the same thing that I know you've done showcases that have done like
Yeah.
stuff you've gone through and stuff like that. So I feel like any dancer who's done a routine, like or any dancer that's done a routine with just kind of something that's personal to their lives, it's very, very or it's just it's like really
Mhm.
fulfilling. And so yeah, well,
Yeah.
fingers crossed that we'll get to do it at mini match, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, just hanging out and everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was Elena and I were going over my showcase the other day, and I'm like, okay, because I've got most of the choreography, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let me through this because I need to do this correctly because it's, I'm like, it is important to me, and it's like, I guess it's just like I said, the way I'm performing it, which like I'll explain more details. Um, I've told some people, but I don't want to put it publicly on here.
No, no, yeah.
Yeah, and then also I kind of want it to be a surprise now for like if I haven't told you by now, probably then we're just gonna let it be a
We'll just
surprise.
leave it to like see the surprise for the dance.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. That's probably best case scenario for sure.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that's it.
Do you want to
Okay.
get to we got a long night for
Yeah,
Bachelor?
we have a lot
Let's
of
get
stuff for
into
Bachelor in
it.
Paradise. So it's like maybe let's just dive into that.
Yes,
Okay.
let's do it.
Do you want to take us through chronologically because you know how I take my notes? At least
Yes,
I
yes,
can
yes.
look at
So
them right on the computer
I
screen.
can, yeah. So I can take us through the episodes
Mhm.
chronologically. Thing I noticed, and we talked about this last week as well. Like we love this show and the shows that we watch so much, but and I've seen so many other like podcasts that I listen to and
Yeah.
watch. Like we didn't even do episode 3, or we really like glossed over it just because 5 hours of TV is so much to commit to. Like obviously, I think everybody that watches it like has like full-time lives and everything that we do off like when we're not doing our podcast. So like it obviously could take up a lot, but we'll get started. So
Yeah.
the first thing I noticed, and again, it's very small because we were talking about this last week, how
Mhm.
like, oh, are they gonna do? Yeah, exactly. The opener. I thought it was really cool. I really do miss the sitcom version of all the funny stuff and everything.
Yeah.
They kind of had that same vibe, with still the more modern version of Almost
Mhm.
Paradise, and they still had people fooling around and acting silly and stuff like in front of the camera. But I just think kind of again the older. That's just such a classic to everybody. I feel like that it's just like, oh man, but this was cool for what it was, so I'm
Yeah.
not mad at it. So, did you have any thoughts on that?
They also remixed the song,
Yeah, they
which I
remixed the
thought was
song. Yeah,
I like didn't try to look it up to be like, wait, can I like get that version for my phone? Although some people like I saw, because especially like on the Instagram account, like when I go on, I'll see,
yeah,
especially on there, I see a lot of the memes come up and everything,
yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody like complaining, like, I don't like it, bring the old one back. And I'm like, all right, well, it's okay. Like
It's
it was
cool for
fine.
what it is. I think it's a cool like version of it. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I thought like just from like and also you can appreciate this too, like just like from a cinematography standpoint, like
yeah,
the way that they did it with like they made it like a time lapse thing and people
yeah.
walk up. I was like, okay, I kind of thought that was like cool, but and I was like, all right, they're just trying to like modernize it and whatever. So
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I totally got that vibe too, for sure. And I like you had said, I like how that was the time lapse. So people would come over and then
yeah,
night, and then during the day it would come back again. So yeah, that was really cool. So it is what it is. It's a cool like version of it.
yeah. Um, so I think the biggest thing that was at the beginning of the episode, unless you have something else aside from me, was we're starting off with Brian is kind of giving Zoe the cold shoulder a
Yes,
little.
yes. The only things I had were the I just had that they had Jonathan and Spencer were talking just kind of at the beginning. Again, that's
Yeah.
very kind of very small though. But yeah, like you were saying, Brian and
Mhm.
Zoe seem to be on different wavelengths. That's what I was saying. So, would you have anything that you want to say about that?
No, I mean, I think that was just the thing of like, they were not clicking from
No,
the
they were
beginning.
not clicking at all, and it really we'll get into it, but it's definitely something that continues throughout the entire episode, and especially with such a
Yeah.
long episode, it really was a thing that they had multiple like scenes or
Hmm.
times that they mentioned this, so it definitely became a big story of the episode for sure.
Yeah.
The next thing I had was that obviously since the girls had the roses last week, the men had the roses this week for the first episode, and then I had that the guys are saying that the girls are already looking for reassurance very early. A lot of the girls,
Hmm.
oh, I like we have these connections and everything like that. But then I feel like most of the guys are kind of like, oh yeah, I have these connections, but I'm open to meeting more people as well. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really interesting. And then that kind of went on also with what Brian was saying, because he was saying that Zoe was too clingy and he was already really kind of pushing that narrative so quickly into the episode. And I actually thought
Yeah.
that was an interesting point as well. It was something I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but it kind of made
Hmm.
me think of an interesting point that since Paradise is such a different format than the other two main shows,
Yeah.
kind of what should the dynamic be with like commitment and being open to talking to new people? Because it's like it seems like it's such a back and forth dilemma that it's like, oh yeah, if you like want to be committed to this person, like they really want that, and it's like, oh, if you go to somebody else, then they're like, oh well, like I'm hurt now, which makes sense because if you get like connected with somebody, then that's you're obviously going to be hurt by that. But then
Yeah.
the whole idea is that you get all these different people in one space to like mingle and everything rather than a group of people going after one person. So
No, I mean,
it's an interesting dynamic.
yeah, I think it's hard. Like, I think they're depending on the couples, I think it's difficult because you kind of almost have to go through this whole cycle of like you have the time where like there's guys entering and then you have the time where there's
Yeah.
like girls entering. So it's like until you both experience that I mean, the couple has to like last through that. But it's like until you've both experienced like one group coming in and another group coming in, it's hard to tell. But I think, I don't know, the first week, I feel like everybody kind of needs to have an open mind.
Yeah,
Like the first week for both of those situations. Um, but I think that's it's just hard because it's like a case by case situation.
right.
Because I mean, like that was gonna segue into what I was talking about too. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
made a
yeah.
note about like the guys are talking about exploring options, and like Justin was focused on Lexi, and I think like Justin has been through this before. He's been in this,
Yes,
and obviously a lot happens with him later on. But it's like
yes.
he's just like, look, I came in, I like her. He talked to the other girls, but I think he was just like, no, like she's the one that of this group that I want to focus with. And I think it's just like you want to explore your options so that way you're sure in your decision. I think it's just like it depends on the person because they can kind of go through and it's like you can just explore the options just by talking to people and then you
Yeah.
figure out like okay, yeah, like I'm not really like clicking with like these people and then some people are just trying to like they get like analysis paralysis or they're
Hmm.
like too many options and then they can't make
Yeah.
a decision. But I mean I think the thing is it's just like a dynamic that I think Brian was kind of like, okay, cool, I got a rose, that's it. And now like she's nice, but like I'm open to other options where I think like yeah, obviously we're not in every single conversation with them, but it's like that
Yeah,
would
yeah,
rub me the wrong way too. It's just like, okay, well, like obviously if I'm a girl giving out the rose the first week, I'm just like, all right, I have to, and this is just me, I have to be in this situation of like, I am going to give him the rose,
yeah,
and he could go out with somebody next week and then I'm gone.
exactly.
It's just a risk you're taking. But I think it's hard because it's like if they had meaningful conversations and felt like they were really clicking, and then he seems like all of a sudden he's just like, okay, I'm whatever, which is what it kind of looks like he did a little bit,
Hmm.
then it's like, all right, is she being too clingy or is he just, I don't know.
No, I feel like, and I agree with you. I feel like the dynamic is so different, and I think that's why, like you were saying, like Justin and Brian, their whole like viewpoints are so different in this situation because with Justin, he's done Paradise before, he's had this experience, so I think that's why now he was able to go through and be like, oh, I know what I want, there it is, and then like Lexi, so you have like he already knew, but I
Yeah.
think with Brian, he had much more of that mindset, like you were saying, oh yeah, Zoe's cool and all, but like. I want to have fun and like meet new people, not like, oh, I'm gonna commit to somebody right away. And then I think
Which is not wrong.
this
It's
is
just
not
more of
wrong.
like, then you have to watch how you're communicating with your person about it. And
Exactly.
like, I mean, I feel like Jonathan kind of, and we'll get into that more later too. Like, Jonathan was kind of just very like, I'm exploring and like talking and open and whatever. And then, I mean, by the end of the two episodes now, it's like not really helping him out. It
Mhm.
kind of blows up a bit. But like earlier on, it's like, okay, well, yeah, that's why he went on the one date and there wasn't a big blowout. Like, or he went on multiple dates and there
Right,
weren't
right,
that
right.
issues
Yeah.
because he's been communicative about it. Whereas like if Zoe probably got the vibe that Brian was like all in and
Yeah. So that's
or
again,
at
that's
least
where
more all
communication
in.
comes in. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's where communication comes in. Again, I don't think this would have ever been an issue, but then again, they probably make it so it's like, hey, we'll separate everybody to like people can feel isolated and then like you'll
Yeah.
create whatever drama that happens. So it makes sense. But again, like communication is important, people. So
Well, then Brian gets his options because
he
two
does.
women enter on jet skis, Parisa and Allie Joe, who is from New Jersey as well.
Yes.
Um, and then so yeah, and then that was the biggest thing too, is they come in and so they
They
went back.
show, yeah.
How Allie Joe was one of the ones that really was like going at it with Zoe on their season.
Mm.
And Zoe like pulled them aside and she's talking to them and she was like, don't take my man. But then naturally, yeah, Parisa talks to Brian, and I'll pause there because then I was like,
Okay.
okay, we'll finish with the Brian part.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So Brian, he was already interested. Like again, he wanted those options to come in. So once they came in,
yeah,
it wasn't like he was like, oh yeah,
mhm,
Zoe, like I'm all in with her. Because we saw some people do that
yeah,
with their people, where like if even if the people came in, they would be like, oh yeah, they seem cool and all, but like I'm really
hmm
interested on this person. But Brian was the complete opposite, where he was like, oh yeah, I'm already interested in Ellie Jonah. But like so it seemed like again, he was
yeah.
ready to jump in like to meet the new people. And then that's all I had with Brian. So do you have anything else?
No, that was it. Then I was just gonna go because then Allie Joe goes to talk talked to Dale, I just made a note about how she kept re-emphasizing that she's a Scorpio, and
Yeah.
and it was just funny. So our friend group, I like am super into astrology stuff, and like this is like a whole big thing. You haven't done it yet, which I'm not gonna force you to do it, but I it's just like I made this whole big thing. There's this app that I like. I like the app. It's called The Pattern. It's good. I still have some criticisms about it because I feel like it can be misleading for people that aren't as into astrology as me. I made like the majority of our friend group
Yeah.
make the account, so they all think that I'm judging them now based on their astrology.
You're
When
like, Camille,
actually,
you're
I'm
judging. It's
really
like,
just
no.
I'm not judging them. I said it's research. And let me tell you, I've learned a lot, but it was just funny because she keeps re-emphasizing she's a Scorpio,
Yes,
Allie Joe, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, but that's just your sun sign, girl. Like, I need to know
exactly.
more. Okay.
Just like you.
Like, get with the program because now
Yeah.
I'm just wondering that is not your whole personality.
Yes.
Um,
So then
anyway,
Jesse
sorry.
arrives, and then they both get both Ali Joe and both Ali Joe and
Yeah.
Parisa. They both get day cards, like what kind of similar how most of the new people get day cards. And then Zoe again is acting very again confused. Why,
Hmm.
like you had said, where she was like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. Like, don't take my man." But then again, she's just really like kind of tiptoeing around everything, where you can tell
Yeah.
something is off. And then, like you had said, Parisa was talking with Brian, and she said this was the whole point of Paradise. So that's why, again, he was really on board with that. It was like, yeah, this is the whole point. We're
Yeah.
supposed to meet people, not really commit so soon. And then I said,
Hmm.
I love I had said the editing coming in clutch again, because it was the whole like Brian doesn't think it's his person, and then it flashed back to like 24 hours ago where he and Zoe were like kissing and
Yeah.
W and everything. I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah. No, I was like, that it's just I don't know. I will say though, like I mean, I'm skipping ahead of it, but like Zoe really never. I mean, there was no like as things shifted, she really never flipped out on the girls.
No,
Like
she
I think
didn't.
if anything, she was just frustrated with him. But
Yeah,
so
and
I was
that
like,
makes sense.
okay, it wasn't that dramatic. It was fine.
It
Like
was fine. Yeah. And
um
then I don't know where you had in your notes, but for me, I had that Ally Joe said that she was attracted to Dale, so she was looking, kind of seeing that she was interested in him, which again, it seems like Dale's a very popular person on Paradise, so
mhm,
that's not really a surprise. And he also seems to be somewhat interested in her. Obviously, that
yeah.
changes, but like that's something that kind of was a kind of a storyline. And then. Uh, that's pretty much it. The next thing I have was the chemistry test. So I don't know what is that the next thing you had?
Yeah, that's the next thing I had. So Wells and Hannah come to take everyone away for their first chemistry test. And
It was
then
really
Jesse
fun.
they're like we have a like like Wells took the guys and Hannah took the girls and then they all like watched this video that Jesse did and it was funny because then they were like pretended that like Jesse thought he was done recording and then I don't remember what he said.
He was like, thank God I don't have to see those guys again. He's like, oh, sorry guys, I'm still. That was really funny.
But it was so basically what it was is they made like an app to match
It was kind of
um
like a Tinder type thing, like dating app,
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
like who do you want to kiss and then if you paired up they set you up. Okay,
This was
I
so awkward. It was so awkward.
yes, they could have done this so much better.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought when they started saying they were going to do this, I thought they were going to blindfold them.
No, that's what I thought too. So this,
I didn't think they were going to pick. And I was like even if they picked, I thought they were going to blindfold. I'm sorry. I thought it should have I mean, the logistics of that might have been harder. But like part of me was thinking like, "Oh, okay, they're just going to have them kiss like and they don't see it each other, they don't know who it is." And then they have to
that would
like
be a
rate
good
it based on
idea.
that like a
Yeah.
blind test. And I'm like wondering, would that have been better? But I think they it just was awkward the
It
way
was
hold on,
really
I'm like going
awkward.
through
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Well, I have the whole part about like okay, so Justin was like commentating and he was like, yeah, me and Spencer are like we're one woman type of guys versus everyone else. All the guys are like, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
exactly.
everyone.
I love how that was the thing that they showed with Brian, where he was like ping, 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 like he was just
Yeah.
right on everybody, and
Well,
everything's so funny.
he didn't get a great
He didn't get
response
a
rate.
great, yeah, 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 and it was
But
interesting because, oh, go ahead, sorry.
oh no, no, I was just Wells was just basically like, are they going to kiss and tell? Probably because they're idiots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. And Wells also said, and Hannah, they both kind of going on what you were saying with how everybody was saying that, or most people were saying that they really want to explore everything within Dale, and everybody was saying that they were only like two or one woman type of guys and everything. But then Wells and Hannah were really trying to like push the thought of like the most genuine connections are the ones that are most unexpected. So they were kind of trying to play up the
Yeah.
whole scenario, which makes sense. It's like, hey, you might be interested in somebody now, but that kiss could change something or could change everything. And so yeah, that was pretty much it. But
Yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. I think they could have done it better.
no, they
Like
totally
I
could.
think
I have the chronological order of
so
the.
do I.
I don't know if you want to go through
I
it.
mean, I can so they also did Cheers with Listerine at the one point, which made me
Oh
laugh.
yeah, that was really
Um,
funny.
so Jonathan was up first, and of course, like it was like him and Alex first.
Of
And I
course.
was like, it was just like the setup was awkward because they were like they have been working on trying to get and like later on we saw it like it didn't click. But it's just like it
Uh-huh.
just was like awkward because I'm just like they like each other, but then it's just it I don't know. It's like too forced in this situation.
And then
Um,
the way with Alex's like personality, she kept laughing. So like, and again, that's probably just the uncomfortable awkwardness, which I get, but it just made it so like you were having that moment, and then they would just stop because she kept laughing. So I just thought that was really funny.
yeah, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm not mocking her at all. It's just
No,
like
no,
an
totally,
awkward
I get
setup.
it. Yeah.
That's why I don't know. And then
Again, I think it was
Parisa,
more the show than the actual, like the actual format of this whole thing
yeah.
could have been better than the people participating in it for
And
sure.
then Parisa was chewing gum, and then
Yes.
he was also there. Um, did you have anything else for Jonathan?
That was pretty much all I had. The next thing was I had was that Zoe was the first for the girls. So yeah, you
Oh
want
yeah.
to,
Well, yeah, because then Brian, and then it was Zoe, and then Parisa,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
then yeah. So it's like he swiped. I mean, unless they didn't show some, but like
I'm
he
sure
put
that's
like
probably the
S
case.
on everybody, and it was only two of them.
There's only two of them.
Well, yeah, Spencer and Jess, they were like, oh, Jess said sorry to my family and my boss that's watching.
That
Um,
was really funny.
Jeremy, it was Bailey and only Bailey. Um, Justin only had Lexi, but Lexi, I don't know what she said, but she was kind of like awkward about it at first.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. I think she was again still saying the whole thing with Susie. I again, it wasn't really naming her, but I think again it was
No,
kind of the again just like oh, I'm a little hesitant about this, so like let's kind of take this slow. I think that's kind of the
yeah, which is like totally fair.
totally fair.
I feel like I don't know. Well, all right, we can get back
Yeah,
to
yeah, we
that.
could get to that. And then I had that Dale is next, so he got a lot of people. He got Alex, Kat, Ali Joe, and Zoe.
Yeah,
And again, he was saying that again, he's really still all in with Kat, but again, it's kind of still exploring everything.
yeah,
Um, and I thought it was really funny because again, I saw a lot of people like on social media kind of doing this because it was again, oh, look at Brian. Of course, this is like the player that he has where Wells asked everybody how long people should stay in the kissing booth, and then Jeremy said 4 minutes, and he's like 4 minutes, like people don't even last in bed 4 minutes. I'm like,
oh my
what?
god.
I'm like,
And then
come
yeah, Wells was like, "Who's got mono now?"
oh, exactly. That was really funny.
Um,
Brian is more excited about Parisa, which again, everybody could see coming. So
I saw them. I thought they clicked better, and then like
I
that's
totally
genuine.
do.
Like that's fine. Like, and that was the whole that this was the conversation that he had with Zoe, and then they
Yeah.
went into this whole thing, and then he goes like about the whole thing. You know, he was like, I don't want to get into the situation where we're over analyzing, and then it was like awkward with her, and I'm like, okay, I get it. But he basically was like saying about going to eat breakfast. He's like, oh, it's kind of critical, and
Yeah,
I'm
really funny.
I'm not gonna go more into that
No,
because
no, no, no.
I just didn't love the way he handled the conversation. It would bother me, but it's just like, you know what, Zoe, you have your answer.
Again, and like you had said, his whole mindset is not incorrect. Like if he wants to like
No,
with other people, fine. But the whole thing with that first conversation they were having together was like she was like, "Oh, I would rather you tell me now if like this is kind of not going to work. Like I'm kind of getting
yeah,
that vibe from you." And he was like, "Oh, no, no, not at all. I'm like I still like you and everything." So it was kind of like leading her on rather than being like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Like I'm sorry. Like I really enjoyed the time we spent together, but I kind of have that better connection now." I think she would have been cool. Like that's a little hurtful, but like
yeah.
end the story. But I think the fact that he kept kind of going like, "Oh, you're the problem," that kind of made the whole dynamic, yeah, not great for sure.
No, I did not love that.
Yeah.
But either way, so like Parisa invites him on the date. That's
Hmm.
fine. And then um yeah, Alex and Jonathan were talking. Then Allie Joe asked Jonathan on the date. Uh,
Hmm.
they go on the double date. They did like Wells was hosting games at the bar
At the
or a
bar,
bar or
a bar. It
something.
looked like it was somewhere off the property, but yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, I guess like because they go,
They
like
go
we'll
places,
talk
yeah.
about different places that they go, like when they're not filming or whatever. And I
Mhm.
was just laughing because they did the one game. These look like minute to win it games, and then
That's
they
what
have
I
the one
saw
where
too.
they're like working with the I think
The
it's
little
they put
ball
like
box,
the ping pong balls in the tissue box
the
or
tissue
something,
box, yeah.
and then you have to shake them out. The person that won was like literally not even from the
It
show,
wasn't
and
even from the show. It was that was, and they were like high-fiving her. That was really funny.
like all these people, I'm like, this is so funny. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
And then they
Um,
did the sloth climb, which looks really dangerous, but it was just like when they climb over them where they can't.
Oh yeah.
That looks
No, no. Oh my
crazy.
gosh. I would be like freaking out if I had to do that. I mean, we would do like so I know I've talked to you about this too, and like this is how I met a group of my friends that I'm still friends with now. I joined the youth group like my high school, well, my church's high school youth group. I joined
Mhm.
it in college like more as like a volunteer.
Yeah.
But like a lot more like the high school graduates, like when they graduate they'd stay, so like we did this. So we would, there was one game one time on the retreat, and like I'm not supposed to talk about what we do on retreat, but it's
Uh-oh.
like a nice
I'm curious
thing.
about to
I feel
hear
like I
this.
can say
Yeah.
it's like it's not, and nothing personal, but like we did this thing where you sit, like you have a partner and then you play the game, and then it's like depending on how they say it, you pick up the one person or you pick up the other person. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, so I just thought of that game, like that I had to play, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
like
yeah. I was like getting nervous and
flashbacks.
I'm like, please don't drop them, please. Or like, please don't fall. It was like really nerve-wracking.
And it's just funny because like I'd be there and I was older, and like some of the kids, they were in high school, I was in
Yeah.
college, and like some of the I knew the people from town, so it was just like, oh my gosh, I know your parents. Like this is that's the whole thing. And me
Yeah.
playing the game, and I was just like, I had no upper body strength, so I'm just like watching them do that, and I was like, I would fall on my face or be terrified.
I would be nervous as the guy, like having to like have that like people hanging out. I was like, no. So that was like really funny. Um,
Oh,
and so next I had was that Brian is definitely smitten with Paris. Like, it's obvious that the connection is
yeah,
stronger there, which is fine. Again, it's more just the
yeah.
communication. And then they had Jonathan. They had that like strong guy walk in to do the arm wrestling with Jonathan, and then he walked.
Mhm.
I wasn't not that I wasn't expecting, but I thought I was going to be the whole thing where they brought this guy in. It was like, oh, obviously this guy's going to win, but like
Yeah,
easy for him. Cool. Like let's go,
yeah,
Jonathan.
yeah. I mean that his whole like intro package like is him working out basically, because I
Exactly.
was
So it's like
like,
it makes sense. And then they're all having a good time, like they're dancing and they're like
yeah.
doing the line in the bar and stuff. So it seems like they're all having a good time. And then Parisa and Brian talk. And Brian, again, I found this kind of interesting because he was saying that he was looking for more of a serious relationship out of this. And again, I feel like that's a little different than kind of what he's portraying rather than, oh, I kind of want to meet everybody and just have a good time. But she said she wants to take it slow, but is also feeling good about the connection. So
Which two things can be true at the same time, but I
yeah.
think maybe it was just like he could want a serious relationship out of it, but like he didn't
Maybe
feel
not in
that
the present.
with Zoe yet. And then yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like two things can be true at the same time. It's just how
Exactly.
you explain it.
I just think it's very different personalities. Obviously, Zoe and
Yeah,
Priest are very different personalities, and I think it just makes sense that, or I could see that Brian was just gravitating towards Parisa more. And again, I
yeah.
think it's more of a personality thing rather than like, oh, like I'm trying to hurt Zoe or like, all that stuff. I think it's more
No,
just again communication.
they click better. It's just like
That's what happens
sometimes just
sometimes.
things
Yeah,
just work
yeah, yeah.
out the way they're supposed to.
For sure.
um, So I think yeah, then I did you have anything else on the date? Because then I was like, we can go back to the beach.
Yeah, yeah. The next thing was the beach. So yeah, that was it.
So Jill arrives. Jill was on one of the previous seasons
Oh,
of
yes.
Paradise. She is very
She's very animated. Very
anime. Oh my
animated.
gosh, that's the literal same word I was gonna
Yes.
say. It's like we don't have the same notes for the show, by the
No.
way. Like we at least unless we change our format, this is how we do completely separate notes.
Uh-huh.
Um, Oh, so anyway, yeah, and then so she had the conversation with Justin, which was funny because like they were friends, they were on the last season of Paradise together, and then she comes
Mhm.
over. I didn't like write it out, but she's like, okay, like tell me who should I go after? Who should I go after? Give me the intel,
Yeah, yeah, it was
like
so funny.
scheme her way through, and
I,
like yeah,
I,
go.
no, I was just gonna say that like they really had like that best friend energy. I really got that from them. You could tell
Yeah,
that they're very close in like a friend way because he was like, oh yeah, come on, like whatever, and it was such like a very back and forth kind of like bubbly conversation. So you could tell
yeah,
that they're close. So that was really funny.
yeah. Um, I
Um,
think
I this
we
was a
can keep
one-off, but I
going.
just found I forgot who asked this. I don't know if it was oh yeah, it was Joe because she was like, "Oh, I'm looking for somebody who reads," and then she was like, "Oh, do any of y'all read?" And then Dale said, "Oh, I read text messages." I thought that was really
That's
funny.
right. I was just like, okay, but yeah, she was just going through all this different stuff, and I'm like, oh,
Everybody, yeah, yeah.
it's too funny.
The next
Um,
one I had was Lexi talks to Justin.
yeah,
I had
yeah. Lexi talks to Justin. She said, I don't know. I guess that she just kind of was like ending it with him because she's like, I think you're still hung up on Susie, which like,
that was really strange to me because again, it was like ending it, but like not officially ending it because obviously she didn't like later like so like she still gave him a chance. We'll get to it, but later. So like it was weird because it's she was like I have to like pause this romantically. So I took that as okay, this is done. But
I think the producers got in her head because I feel
yeah,
like she started freaking out about it way more. And then I think she found out that they had only broken up 4 months ago, or like as
yeah,
of the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And like, of course, they timed this whole thing with when Susie enters. And
Of course it is.
I saw after last week's episode that people were like, why did they get rid of all of the weird, like, captions under everybody's names?
Uh-huh.
They brought them back because that was my shoulder cracking. Um, I don't know if that came off on the camera. Um, they of course Susie enters and then they brought it back with like her little caption of like not excited.
Of course. They got to do all that for sure.
So I'm like, of course, Susie. I love Susie
I
so
love
dearly.
Susie.
So like, I no nothing
It's no
against that.
no
I'm
shade to
like,
her. I just felt so bad again in the moment for Justin because I feel like he was really in this moment. Obviously, it changed throughout the episode, but in this moment, you could tell he really wanted them to make it work with Lexi, and I think she just had the insecurity in her mind the
yeah,
entire time. Like, it was going one in one ear and went out the other. It was kind of like, yeah, this is done. I'm sorry.
she
And
can't. Yeah,
so
it's like,
that. Yeah, because she was saying that she had been hesitant to ask him questions about the future because she thinks he's still hung up on Susie. But then, yeah,
but it's just like I don't know. I feel like she should. I don't know. I don't want to like.
yeah, I
There's
don't want to
obviously
talk
so
for
many
them.
more
Yeah,
conversations that happen, but like I just
you could just tell she was overthinking about it a lot, which makes sense. I think most people would. So
listen. If it's something that bothers her, nothing he's gonna say is going to change
I'm
that.
gonna change
So
that. Yeah.
I think that's just kind of where it's at.
And I loved how it was like I think they put like you had said with they put everything on like next to Susie the not excited and
Yeah,
they did the same thing with Justin where they put living his worst case scenario
I didn't
on
notice
this
that.
side.
I didn't notice that one.
That
I
was
was like, I
really
just
fun.
realized they I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing that again.
They're doing that again because they didn't do it like the first episode. So I was like,
No.
okay. So this was a fun surprise that they brought that back. But yeah, and then Jeremy said that Susie was on his mind even before she came on. So I thought that was
Hmm.
really interesting.
Yeah.
It was definitely very awkward energy, which I think that would be, I can't really speak for obviously them, but I feel like
Hmm.
just with most people outside of the show, if this was like a situation where you were with an ex and then you like with other
Yeah.
people like your friends, that would be very awkward if you really hadn't had a conversation prior. So you definitely felt that awkward energy in the room for sure.
Well, they probably didn't. They haven't. I don't think they've spoken.
Yeah.
So,
So even more
and
so. Yeah.
they had like Justin and Susie hadn't spoken. So like I don't think they really. I don't know if they had found out either one of them was going on Paradise through like mutual friends or whatever. So they probably
Mhm.
didn't even know.
Probably
And of
not.
course,
Yeah.
the show like does this to them, but um,
And then Susie was somewhat surprised about Justin and Lexi, but then she was like, "Oh yeah, I saw them kind of walk together, so I kind of thought that could be a possibility." And then
yeah.
Jeremy was talking to Susie, and like I said, he said that he was interested in her, and it was nice to have that
Hmm.
option in those options, even though he's interested in Bailey, and he still has that connection with her.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. And yeah, that was pretty much all I had.
Yeah, I mean, I think then they cut to Brian and Parisa were by the pool.
Yeah, yeah, because they all came back from their date. And it honestly seems like a different night than it all happened because that night four was so long that like everything seemed like, was that really the same night? And it was
I honestly think I just completely dissociated from like the timing of things. I'm like, oh, this happened. I don't remember what time of day it was. I don't
no,
remember
no, no, me
what day it
neither.
was.
But they had like
But
so long. It was like date and then the four people talking about the
yeah,
date, and then they had the stuff with Susie. So it was like everything felt like you couldn't really know what time it was, even though it was like same night. So yeah, it was really
yeah. Well, that's why. And then I had Zoe went to go talk to Dale, and then he was like, oh, I'm focusing on Kat, which is not like entirely
not
true, but
really surprising.
true
Yeah.
enough.
And again,
Uh,
that's the communication. That's why I put he's communicating. There it is.
yeah.
Like so,
And
like,
he was just like basically like yeah, he wants to focus on Kat. And like honestly, yeah, I mean Kat, they haven't really focused on Kat much in these two episodes. Honestly, she wasn't in them that much. I don't remember. They didn't focus on that much. Like if you're not part of the main storyline of the episode, like you're not, it's not as much. Um,
I
but
agree.
yeah, then I the next thing I had was Justin and Susie talk.
Yeah, me too.
So I mean, it was it definitely looked uncomfortable, but like I feel like they're trying to be mature about it.
Right.
And then I don't remember who said it. It's like I don't want anyone to be awkward, but there's going to be unresolved feelings. Like it's just a fact. Like
And that's exactly what I had in my notes too, is that they both got emotional and overwhelmed. And again,
yeah,
like, either one of them wanted to get like that, but that's just kind of how it is in that situation. I feel like anybody, it would be the same thing. So again, it's just
yeah.
that scenario is very weird. So I think even especially on TV. So
And I think that's the thing. It's like just because there's obviously like they're still like processing what had happened, but it doesn't mean they're incapable of moving forward.
right.
I think it's just like obviously being mindful of where they're at. So I think like yeah, it's obviously nerve-wracking to Lexi, but I think it just all boils down to communication, I think at the end of the day.
Totally.
But
Exactly.
I mean, I like Justin and Susie. I think it's just hard because they were friends and then they were dating and then they broke up and now it's like I think it's just they can't really be friends. So I think that's why it was like harder for them. Um I mean, I don't know. You don't know all the situations that happen. I mean, I'm sure in time they'll be okay again, but like not now.
Yeah,
And it's
definitely. For
obviously
sure.
this
Yeah.
situation's uncomfortable. Yeah. So, and then I saw about like Wells made the comment about Alex and Jonathan, and he's like, I don't really see it. And he's just
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
could be wrong, but I've been doing the show for like insert number of
That was
seasons.
really funny. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and then I forgot what Jesse said, but there was like, I just had a note about like whatever commentary that he had.
Oh
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. I had that too because they had again they were all kind of having a pool day and everything, and so then he
mhm.
brought everybody together, and then he was talking about how like I forgot I it was either he said that one of the dates was going to take place in the VIP suite or Bachelor in Paradise, and he called it the VIP and that was
Oh, yeah, I forgot what he had said, but that was the one, but that was the thing for the next, that was the next episode. That was with the
no,
Goldens.
that was in this episode
Yeah,
because it was for Jill and Susie that again they're all like coming together. So
because I don't know. I heard him say it, and then I was like, I'm not rewatching this episode again. That's another three
no,
hours.
no,
Like,
no.
I just think I missed part of it. That was with, or okay,
So that's
that's
what,
right.
but that was, yeah, yeah, that was it. Mhm.
Yeah, because Susie and Jill had the date cards.
So then after that, Jesse was saying that that Rosa, the second Rose ceremony was going to be the same night. So he was really again just kind of emphasizing everybody, since four girls are going to be going home, just really everybody take this seriously. And then there was this kind of like everything is
Yeah.
much more, I guess, kind of just more serious, obviously.
Hmm.
They showed Zoe and Brian talking again, same thing. He was saying that he senses the neediness, and he kind of was talking about he recapped the date with Parisa. Obviously, it
Hmm.
was just a lot of back and forth. Again, I think had to come down to communication.
Yeah.
It's hard, but like,
She's not wrong, and I think she was just talking about stuff that's like triggered her in the past. Like she's not wrong, but she's not going to win.
no,
She's just not going
exactly.
to win. It's just like just save your breath. Like I feel bad for Zoe because it's just like she's at this point where she's like, okay, I'm not getting a roast. Like
Yeah, exactly. I think she just has to be like, okay, cool, fine.
yeah,
And then Lexi and Susie talked, which I thought was very, very helpful. They,
yeah,
I remember Lexi was or Susie was saying that she really wants them to be on the same page, and I thought this was really sweet. That like
yeah,
Susie came in like, I know this is like very, very awkward, and I know that Justin was saying that you guys have something going on. I really don't want to seem like you guys are like rocking on eggshells around me. And it seemed like that really kind of took the, I guess, overthinking like kind of energy out of Lexi, which I thought was very sweet again of Susie.
yeah.
And I thought that was a very again nice thing. So I don't know if you
Hmm.
have any thoughts on that, but
Yeah, I think again, I was like I heard it and then I missed like some of the keywords that they said, but like I got the general vibe that I was like, okay, no, they're fine. Like they're good. Like Susie just like clarified some things with her and she's like, don't worry about it. And I think I don't know. I would hope that it reassured Lexi. I mean, I don't we didn't really get to see much else later on.
yeah, 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 no. And
But
then
yeah.
yeah, for sure. And then Allie Joe was somewhat nervous because I feel like
Hmm.
obviously with the newer people, you never know because they don't really have those connections like right off
Yeah.
the bat. So she went to go talk to Dale, and he was saying that he's still really focused on Kat, but wants to explore all the options, and they
Hmm.
can't. So I guess something was there. But then Kat was saw that they were like talking, so then she ran out onto the beach to try to distract him, which I thought was really funny. And he's
Oh,
like, oh, okay. But yeah, that's all I had for that. And then I had that Jill talks to Jonathan and that they both
yeah.
seem,
Hmm.
and she said she wants to get to know him better. And then the next thing I know, you said that Susie talked with Jeremy and then they go on the date. So that was the next thing I had.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Susie asked Jeremy on the date and Jill asked Jonathan on the date. And then yeah, and then so Susie and Jeremy's date went well.
Yeah.
Um and then what did they
They
Oh,
like left on the beach and they went to go ride jet skis. I mean,
that's right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we're having a great time. And even Jeremy was saying this. I kind of noticed this before he even said it in his ITM, but I could tell he was just so happy. And I don't know if again it was like Susie, like personally, or just again being out on the date and then they clicked. But
Yeah.
it was just so like smiley. And he even was like, oh, I couldn't smile.
Hmm.
Like I couldn't stop smiling. I was so happy. So yeah, like you said, it seemed like it went well and that they were having a good time.
Yeah.
Then did you have anything else with that?
No, I mean, I just put like it looked like their date went well. I mean, I wouldn't have like paired her off with him necessarily, but I'm like they seem to have a good connection. So,
Yeah.
um, I just then the next part I had was like I guess they were talking about Bailey at the one part, and she was just like they put like a little too confident.
Yeah, yeah. That was
I
funny.
was like, okay, whatever. It was just funny. I'm like, all right, well now we've got all of these phrases that they had for everybody to comment on. Um,
And she was even saying that she was confident in Jeremy and what they have. So she was like, "Yeah, go on the date, whatever." Like
yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
like really care.
Well,
So
I think Bailey was like, I think they're in the position that they had at least spoken enough about being settled like with where they're at and stuff. But I think like just exploring the different options. So what had happened then? Yeah, Jonathan
so
and
they went
Jill
on the date. Yeah,
they went to the presidential suite for their date. So then they made drinks and then played games and stuff. It was like,
but that like dating theme twister, something like that,
yeah.
which
They
I thought was fun. It was like a cool icebreaker for them. But yeah,
it seemed more friendly.
yeah,
But like, I mean, I saw more of a connection with, I mean, I saw more of a connection with her, um, with him than, I mean, I love Alex
me
and
too.
him. Like,
He's so
I would
sweet.
have like, they like look cute. They're cute together. But I was just like, no, I thought Jill and him connected a little differently.
Yeah,
Um, so it was nice.
yeah. Both dates I thought went well for sure. From what,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then what had happened? Yeah, Parisa and Brian. Oh yeah, this was a weird
It
thing.
was so dramatic.
Oh
It
my gosh,
was
I
so
literally forgot
funny.
about this.
It was so funny.
Parisa, and she like I remembered from her season because she was on Grant's season, and she was like, I'm not. I just remembered. I don't remember what it was, but like even in Parisa's like time with Grant's season, they like made her seem like a little out there.
Yeah.
So they have this thing of like she goes through this hypothetical scenario that she gets arrested and calls him from the county jail, and she's like, "How do you act? I call you," and I'm like, Brian, I'm in the county jail. You gotta go in my nightstand drawer and get the flip flop and go burn it, and then you gotta call and get me or come and get me or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like, how would you act with this? Like, I was like, oh my
And
gosh.
I love how they like edited it so like they were like had like the phone like audio in the audio. Like that was really
Yeah.
funny.
I was like, oh my goodness
That was
gracious.
great.
So nuts. And I was just like, maybe this is a good first date question.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm not in a position where I'm arrested and telling somebody to go
Oh, exactly.
burn a flip flop and
Uh-huh.
come bail me out of jail. But
Mm.
it was funny.
Uh-huh. And then Jeremy and Bailey talked, and then he said he wanted to explore both of them, and then
Hmm.
Bailey really only wants Jeremy. So then it kind of was like, well, you're the one that went on the date, so then like why are you like again kind of like questioning that. So again, it was a whole
Yeah.
kind of dynamic. And then he said he's afraid of getting hurt, so then it was kind of more on his side, which
Well, that starts to segue into the
yes,
what's gonna happen soon. But I put after that about Lexi and Justin talk,
Justin.
and then
That seemed to go well.
Yeah, it seemed like it did seem to go well. I think the way things transpired just made it into a mess.
I think that was the whole point of them editing it that way because she was all in with Justin after that. She was like so reassuring. I was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you for everything and how you're handling it, and like I want you to know I'm here 100% for you." So it was like all her completely flipping the table or completely flipping the cards in his favor for like
Yeah,
that. And then obviously we saw what transpired. So it was just crazy. Again, they seemed to be on the same page, and it yeah, we'll get to it, but it was just crazy.
yeah. Well, and then it was like Jonathan and Jill also talk, and then like thinking that maybe there's something more, but they seem to mostly just be talking as friends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then was it Dale talks to Ellie Joe again,
Yeah.
and then Justin and Susie talk again, and
Yeah.
then they just like
Yeah, because you can just
reiterate.
tell it's really hard for them, but I feel like that's pretty common again in that situation.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's just like they're in the situation they're in, and then oh my
Oh,
gosh,
here we go. The craziest rose ceremony. It was
let
so
me tell you, I was so shocked with some of the guys' selections because I'm thinking like, no, totally, they're gonna switch it up. So yeah, for the rose ceremony, I mean,
want me to
Spencer
go through
picked
it or do you
Jess.
want to do it?
Oh, I'll go through it. I was like,
Okay.
I'm like on a roll. I'm
Go
like
ahead. Yeah, yeah,
rushing.
yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm rushing to the end. Well, Spencer picked Jess, which we saw. Dale
Makes
picked Kat, which I was like, is he gonna switch it up and pick Allie Joe? Nope, he picked Kat. Jeremy thought he was gonna pick Susie. Then he picked Bailey, and this is what like festered in Justin's head probably. Brian picked Parisa, which saw that coming.
Yep.
Jonathan picked Alex, which again I was like, thought he might have picked Jill. But
Yeah,
then
yeah,
so
yeah.
okay.
Here we go. And you know what? I knew I've watched this show for too long to know that something was going to happen because they put the whole thing. I forgot it was like Jeremy or somebody. I think it was Jeremy, and it was in his ITM, and he was saying, "Oh, well, Justin's just going to pick Lexi, and that's going to be the end of it." And they were obviously playing like the dramatic music behind it. I was like, "Something's up. Something's going to happen." And
No, no, no.
go ahead.
So so Justin, I guess just felt bad because Jeremy didn't pick Susie. And he, I guess, made this pact with her at one point of like, I will always be there for you. And so he gets up there and he offers the rose to Susie. And I'm like, I mean, okay,
It was so
I
awkward.
know his intentions were good
Yeah.
because part of me is thinking that he was going to offer it to Susie and then say to Lexi, do you want to just like explore this outside of paradise?
Hmm.
Is my thought. I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Because
don't know if he's been on any podcasts or put it anywhere or whatever. I mean, we'll
yeah,
have to see. That this is obviously going to be a big thing in like the After Paradise
yeah.
reunion thing. But like Susie says no, which
Like,
I
like,
think
like very emphatic, no, but very hurt. But it was just crazy.
and it's just like, but it's just not like I think at that point because it's like he's making this self-sacrificing decision, and she just probably also felt bad for Lexi. He should have just been like, pick Lexi and let me go. Like,
That's what she said. She was like, the obvious decision should just be like, you pick Lexi and I go home. That's the end of it. And this is really interesting because I am curious to hear your thought about this. And I've heard a few other podcasts like I've listened to since the two episodes this week kind of talk about this, and I'm just curious. Was this really something that like Justin, it was really genuine from him that he was going to pick Susie right away? Or do you think production really got in his head and was like, hey, like maybe there's something still there with you two, like go for it? Or maybe a little bit of both. I'm
I
just
don't think
curious.
it had anything to do with him exploring a connection with her. I think he was
Yeah.
gonna just give her the rose and leave.
Oh, yeah.
I think he freaked out when Jeremy didn't pick her.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he felt bad that she was leaving.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was gonna just try to go save her and leave. But then it's like, but what about Lexi?
But what about Lexi? And then Lexi obviously makes sense. She storms out of there. She's so upset.
No, she's like,
Good.
I'm done with this. I
I'm
don't
done with
believe.
this.
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get to the part where we're blurring between the two episodes, but it's totally fine because this is the scene that they left it off. Because I literally was like, Susie says no, OMG, and then next,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I had too.
oh, but yeah. So I guess we're segueing into
I
episode
guess
three
we're
now,
going
which
into
is fine.
episode three.
Um,
I just said, even though we love the episode too long. Again, I'm sorry.
again, it was the
5 hours.
3 hours.
It's 3 hours. It's too long.
It's so long. But yeah, so then Justin talks to Jesse. Justin doesn't want to talk to anybody else.
She really wants Susie feels so bad and she wants to talk to, and I felt for her because you could tell like they still really care about each other. So when you could tell that when
Yeah,
she knew that he was hurt, she was like, no, I could, she was like, I can help him. So she kind of knew that like, oh, we have that connection to where we can like trust each other. So
yeah.
it kind of went from her being like, no, I'm not going to accept it to like you could tell that she really wanted to help him, and she was really hurt that she hurt him, which that made me really sad to see. But
Yeah, it's the whole thing is just really sad. It's just, and then Jesse's like, "Do you want to offer the rose to anybody else?" And then so he says to Jill, and then Jill's like, "No," at first, and I'm like, "Girl, take the
take
rose." And
that
she's like, "It's
rose.
okay. I love a pity rose." And um, so then yeah, so Allie, Joe, Zoe, Susie, Lexi, and Justin all end up leaving.
Yeah,
Um, I have opinions on the rose ceremony, but so
go
before
ahead.
we go into any of the next day stuff, I want
Yes, go
what
ahead.
else do you have about the rose ceremony?
I just thought it was, again, I could really see something coming. Again, how they were kind of teasing it with, again, the voiceover of Jeremy saying like,
Hmm.
it should just be the easy decision. He's going to pick Lexi and
Yeah.
it's going to be the end of it. So I knew, I was like, he's going to pick Susie, isn't he? I knew something was coming, and
Yeah.
it really, again, I felt bad for both of them because you could tell it was very, even like I said, when they were talking, you could tell it was really hard for them. So again, it was just hard to see both of them that upset because you could tell that
Yeah.
they still really care about each other. What else did you have for did you said you had opinions on like the
I
next
just
like list?
I just get frustrated because I feel like, and they've done it sometimes where they keep somebody there and then they bring them back to the beach.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so hard because they're trying to have these connections form. And you're always putting people in the position where the only way that they can form a connection with someone is they're breaking a connection with somebody else. And I feel like, at least for like, I don't know, the first few weeks, they should, okay, like in this situation, let's just say if they did what I'm proposing at this rose ceremony, the
Mhm.
guys gave out the roses. The guys should give out the roses, okay? And then there's four girls left. And then I think the girls could do a secret ballot of like one of the four girls that did not get a rose. The girls should vote for who they think they want to stay.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't want to call it like a pity rose, but it's just like, you
No.
also
Yeah.
want to have one person. So then when the next week, when they're going to bring in new guys, there is one available girl to at least throw off the numbers a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's one person that they can do. But I feel like the girls should pick the girl
Yeah.
because if
Yeah. Yeah.
guys pick the girl, then it's like, well, it's the one that I want to. No, no, you made your decision. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the
Totally.
girl, it's up to the girl. It should be up to the girls to pick the one that gets to stay because I
Exactly.
think it just gives it a little bit, just one, it just gives them a little bit of like, I don't know. I
Well, it gives
just
them that opportunity. I see what you mean.
because it's just like, okay, like I know you want the drama, but like it gets to the point where it's like that is why Justin like felt so bad.
Hmm.
But it's like if Justin shouldn't have had to take it on because Jeremy's the one that made the decision
Hmm.
to pursue Bailey over Susie at that point in time. And there's nothing wrong. He has to make a decision. He can only give one rose
Yeah.
out. So, like it's just like fine. If the girls pick Susie, then Jeremy would have had the opportunity, but not, I don't know. So I
It's
just
just the whole
wish
thing.
I
Yeah.
wish they would just like rejig the format a little bit,
Yeah, me too.
because I just feel like it's I don't know, maybe this will make them open their eyes to it, but they're like, this is great TV.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It was just a whole mess, and I feel bad for everybody, but it is what it is.
it is what it is. We'll find out
Yeah,
more on like the reunion and stuff, like what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, I'm sure we'll get more details for sure.
So
So
the next
then,
day.
the next
Yeah.
day happens, and the women have the roses this episode, obviously.
Mhm.
And the Goldens are here.
Oh my gosh.
So
I know. I
they,
was
you
like,
could tell them,
finally.
you could tell they're ready to party. Like they're ready to have a good time.
Their intros were so good.
They're so awesome.
It was so funny. The one, I don't think I wrote it down, but RJ was basically like, if you're, what did he say?
I didn't write it down either, but I know what you
It's
mean.
the I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5", blue
Yeah,
eyed,
yeah,
whatever.
six
So
five. Yeah,
he's just
yeah,
like, I'm a man that used to be in
yeah.
finance. I forgot how tall he was, but I think he was like around 6'5", and he's like
Uh-huh.
blue eyes. Gosh, and there's like the remix of the song, and I have heard that song so many times in the past week because the girls at the skating rink have been playing it constantly. So
Uh-huh.
I'm just cracking up. Um,
Funny. And I wrote down, I forgot what she said, but I was like, April is so great. She's just so
oh,
awesome. And like she's so outspoken. It's really funny.
and the part when the Goldens met the young ones,
Oh,
they
that
were
was so good.
so like the
They were
younger
so
group
excited.
was so excited to meet the Goldens. I'm like, they have not gotten this excited about any other arrival on the
Any
beach.
other
They
arrival.
were, it was so
And
crazy.
I just
Oh,
said the energy is up from here because you could tell they were just all so happy that they were there. They're like, yes, let's go. So they
yeah.
were, it was really funny.
And then they start talking, and then Natasha told Spencer about like how she sat on RJ's lap on the boat when he was like,
Uh,
"What?"
what are you
Like
talking about?
Spencer, was
Yeah, yeah,
like what?
yeah.
April made a comment about not bringing any underwear.
Oh, yeah, that was
Like, okay,
right. I mean, that's a choice.
ugh. And then Jesse basically was like, "Don't cross the lines between the Goldens," and he was just like,
And then April was like, well,
"Unless you want to."
exactly, unless you want to. And then April was like, well, we'll see. Like she was ready for it.
Well, we'll get back to that
We'll
later.
get
But
to
he's
that.
like,
Yeah.
but Jesse's like, "Don't make it weird," and I'm
Don't
like,
make it
"Please
weird.
don't make it weird." Um, no, I mean, I think it's fine so far. What I've seen,
It
like,
doesn't look bad. Yeah, I
no,
hope.
I mean, they're obviously gonna joke about it, but April and Kat connected, and then that's why at one part somebody was just like, "That's gonna be Kat in like 30 years," is like how April looks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They looked like they got really like
Yeah,
close in that moment. So I thought that was really nice. But that was a funny comment, definitely,
yeah.
for sure.
Oh my gosh. And then we do have another arrival
We
for
do.
the younger group, Andrew Spencer. And I was laughing because he did his fake British accent again.
Uh-huh.
And Andrew, again, I love Andrew. I talked
Love
about him too.
Andrew.
He's like as part of the bromance with Justin, and then the other guy, Greg is not on the season, but I do love Andrew too. He comes in and he's very clear he's interested in Alex and Bailey, which I'm like, based on his dating like in previous
That
Bachelor in
tracks.
Paradise seasons, I'm like,
That
all right,
tracks.
that's who I was thinking.
Mhm.
So he asked Bailey to go on the date, and I thought it went pretty well. It was,
Yeah.
oh no, I have the part because she went to go talk to Jeremy.
Yeah. And
Oh
he,
yeah, how did I forget this? He
yeah, yeah,
confronted
that's a big
her
part.
about it, and yeah. So hold on, because there's like so many things now that I'm thinking about. We'll have to go back and forth.
Okay.
So she had said that she's here for him the night before. He gave
Yeah.
her the rose. And then the point was that he got like kind of like all up in arms about it. And I'm like, wait a second. He went on a date the day prior with Susie.
Susie,
So
yeah.
like how can he like flip this up on this whole thing? And then he was just like, he goes to the producer, I gave her the rose because of that, F that. And then so I think he got this fired up because of all the drama that happened with Justin and Susie. Because
Yeah.
like I think he kind of felt like a little bit of this guilt and frustration about it. Um, and I'm gonna pause there.
Okay. And then I just felt so it was crazy because he turned so quickly. And he was even going like you said, he was going like F this and I made this I made a huge mistake and he wants Susie back. And it was crazy because Jess was in one of the rooms talking to the other girls, and then she said that she heard Jonathan and Jeremy saying, "Oh, I should have given the rose to Susie. I made a second I second
Yeah,
guessed myself."
yeah,
And he really turned on it. I just thought that was really crazy.
yeah. I mean, I think it was like, I don't know. My hunch is that I do think a lot of it was because of the drama that had ensued because of him not picking Susie. Also,
Yeah.
um, I don't know, but so anyway, I was like, Andrew and Bailey go on the date.
They do that
So they
coffee
did this
spa
like
thing.
coffee ritual, and he's like, I don't drink coffee, and
I don't think she does it either. So
they they do this like they do the foot bath thing, and it's funny because then Andrew's like, "Don't look at my toes. I got a 1 out of 5 on Wiki Feet." And so, okay, he's been on Caitlin Bristow's podcast, and like they've joked about this, like with
uh,
his feet. Like he's like, I don't like his feet are not great apparently. And
yeah.
there was this thing that there was a joke that he would go to get like a pedicure, and he got like a smiley face on his big toenail.
Uh-huh.
And I think there's a thing. Oh God, I forgot it. Caitlin, I think, has a picture of Andrew's feet in her home or something. There's like a joke. I think he printed out a picture
Yeah,
of
you're
his
right. I
feet.
think yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think with the smiley face on the toenail.
Yes.
Maybe, and it's in her
Sounds
home.
right. Yeah.
I need to like I have to make a list of questions for when I meet Caitlin in September and be like, so wait, do you still have
Is
this
this
photo
true?
of
Yeah, yeah,
Andrew's
yeah.
feet in your home? Is that a thing? But no, it's just like this joke because like Andrew's like joked about this on Instagram too. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then, sorry, it keeps going back between Jeremy
Yeah. Do you want
was
me
like
to?
asking the producer to FaceTime Susie. She was boarding the plane. He's like, I think I made a mistake. She's like, I can't come back.
What is she gonna do? Come back? Like I don't like she can't. I mean like I feel like even mentally she wouldn't do that. So
No, it's just it was so traumatic. But then he said something about shoot your shot, and then they put the phrase underneath the name has terrible aim.
that's
Um,
terrible.
but I'll pause before I talk more about the when they go into the coffee tub.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I just thought again that they let me try to see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just thought the date again they have very similar energy,
Hmm.
Andrew and Bailey. So I
Yeah,
thought again you could tell that they're again that very high energy, bubbly, they can joke around but then also be serious.
yeah.
So again, I thought yeah, I thought it was a good date and that they had a good connection. But what did you say? What were you gonna say about them going into the tub?
So okay. 2 years ago, Andrew was in Paradise. It
Hmm.
was not when we were doing the podcast. It was the one Paradise season
The
we did.
season before?
Yeah, or was it?
Or was it before the
No, because
season?
they skipped the 2024. But he was on a date with the other.
I
I
know what you're
forgot her
talking
name.
about. Yes, I
The other
forgot.
girl. I think they had a margarita tub.
You're right. You're so
And
right.
I'm like,
Yes.
what is with Andrew getting these? I mean, I know, like, boy likes a spa day.
He
That's fine.
likes
But I mean, like, he doesn't plan the dates. So I'm like, first they put him in a margarita tub, and now they're putting him in a coffee tub. And the coffee tub is freezing, by the way, because
Yep.
they were saying it was so cold. And I'm like, you don't need to make it boiling. But I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I don't understand the coffee ritual thing. Like, just whatever. But it was just really funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny because I'm like, he was in a margarita tub the last time, and now
I,
he's in
I
a
guess they're like putting him in the similar dates. Like I guess that they think, oh, okay, yeah, he did this before, let's do it again.
and then yeah, I mean, yeah, and then they kissed. I mean, I think the date was like fine, and then
Really fun.
they were good. I think
The
that was
next I had the next thing I had was that the Goldens played the two truths and a lie. So they like what
oh
did
yeah.
like going back. It was very small, but I thought that was really funny.
And then Leslie was like, I don't think I told the lie. And they're like, there's another game, Leslie.
Yeah,
Um,
funny.
oh my gosh, what else? Yeah, Jeremy at the one point was like, I wish there were more women my age here, but we have the Goldens. Let's get the prune juice out. Um,
Yeah,
then Alex, like, she did, Jeremy's fine. I think he's like showed his true colors. I think like throughout the episode, I think he just got very. I think he just got triggered mostly because of the drama that ensued the night prior. I mean, like it's
yeah.
not great, but like he was helpful because Alex was getting upset because she's like, I can't get there with Jonathan. Like she's like, I can't get past this like friend thing with him, and like I have, she gets to this point and she gets like upset about it, and Jeremy talked to her about it, and then she goes to take Jonathan out on the beach to tell him, and it was sad, but like you know what, good for her because then she's kind of just like I can't do this anymore. Like
Exactly. And I'm glad that she communicated it. Again, that's like what you're talking about. And also again, Jonathan stuff is like back and forth, but I feel like at least he handled that situation very well, I think,
yeah,
because you could tell Alex is a big like overthinker and very overanalyzer, just in the way of like
and I know that feeling.
no, no, we both know that feeling. Exactly. I can relate if we can both relate. But
Yeah,
I feel because of that, because she was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. And but you could tell Jonathan was just like it's okay. No, don't be sad. Like so you could I was happy that he was reassuring her in that moment because I feel like obviously that was probably very difficult for her. So yeah.
yeah. I I like Jonathan a lot. I just feel
Too.
like he is definitely he's just very passive with the situation because
Yeah.
it's like okay, like what we were talking about earlier, just like how do you handle like the exploring all the options and stuff. And I feel like he was exploring like he went on the date with Ellie Joe, he went on the date with Jill, like he was
Yeah.
he like they had the kissing chemistry thing, like they
Mm.
did that, but I think it's just like him and Alex, like they were having good conversations, but I think it was just like I think he was like probably just nervous to go too deep with any one of them in particular. He
Yeah.
was like kind of keeping like a friend vibe with everyone with
Right,
the
right, right.
later on that in one than the other.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he was totally like being clear about that. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that was just the biggest thing. Like I think he yeah, that's all I have to say about
Yeah,
that.
that
And
was it.
keep
Yeah, that's all I had to
going.
say. I'm glad she was upfront with him, and I'm glad that he like was reassuring her. And I thought again, I thought that was okay. So that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so then the next and they reconnected. So I guess they were fine. I
Yeah.
mean, what did I think they were like, do I tell her I tried to FaceTime Susie?
I
No.
think it was like, no.
No. I mean, I'm sure at some point, well, I hope it comes up before she saw it re-air on
Oh,
TV. Let's
I have it.
if there's a reason for there to be a concern about that. But
Uh-huh.
um then they have the scene, the Goldens are in the pool, and
Oh
then
yeah.
they're like trying to get on those floaties and
That
falling.
was really funny.
And I'm like, so it was April and Jack kiss.
I believe, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I forget some of their names and I feel horrible. But I'm like, I later on I was like, oh yeah, I think that's Jack.
Yeah.
Um and then Wells made the joke about the boom boom room. He's like, if the Goldens make it to the boom boom room before the youngins, I
I don't know exactly. That was so funny.
I will say that I think that the point they would say like the boom boom room in the old, like in the Mexico resort,
Mhm.
they basically had there was air conditioning in there. And
Oh
that's why they were some people were like, just go in there because you have air conditioning. So I
yeah.
think it's less appeal for the boom boom room because they're all in like air conditioned semi-private or private rooms.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
um
What was your next thing? The next thing this is very small, but I just thought it was really funny when Jeremy was getting the massage and then
oh
Jonathan
my
and
gosh.
Bailey came up and pranked him. That was so good. That was so funny.
Like yeah, Bailey was yeah, then Jonathan came over and then goes to massage him and then Jeremy eventually realized and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm
That
so happy."
was so good.
Oh, also I had the part so Alex and Andrew talked again because like
Yeah.
okay, so she's like Bailey reconnected with Jeremy. Alex is done with Jonathan, so Alex and Andrew talk again and I think the conversation was like a bit whatever because I think I'm like, "All right, girl, you got to stand your ground obviously because like
Yeah.
he didn't take you on the date, so you got to make sure whatever." But I think it got a little bit like, "Okay, you're being too pushy now because like
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah, for
turn
sure.
Andrew off on it." But I'm like, they'll get over it. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, because then they kissed, and I
The
think like
kiss, yeah,
I think naturally they're a little bit of a better fit, and I think like at this point Andrew's a little more sure of what he wants, where I think Jonathan was kind of like feeling everything out.
I agree.
Um, and the whole Jill and Jonathan like
Oh, that
just
was so good.
I
I
guess
love the editing where like they
yeah
just like I was like, is this really what? And they had like all the graphs going around there and stuff. That was really
yeah
funny.
yeah yeah yeah, and she's like trying to figure it out, which then later on, but um I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Sean arrived. He was on one of the previous seasons.
Charity season.
He got the date card. And he asked Jill. I really don't see them together, but like
Mhm.
at that point, like she was the best person for him to ask on the date. Um, and then I guess what she said about like that he's like Barbie, but like they made the whole joke about like, can he get dirty? And then he's like they showed this
He's
thing with
doing
like
that.
smearing the mud all over him. I'm like, oh my gosh, this whole thing. I
That
mean, they
was so
had a nice
good.
like conversation on the date.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Um, I'm trying to think of what else.
The only thing I had, well, the next thing was that Jesse announces that the exercise that they're gonna do that night. Obviously, it's later what they're gonna do, but
Yeah.
like, he announces what it was gonna be, and then to remind the guys that since the girls have the roses again, that they take the connection seriously.
Hmm.
And then like you had said, Sean talks to Joe. I didn't really, again, really see them. Again, it
Yeah.
was like fine, but again, I don't really see it.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it was like, okay, just go on the date and hang out and get to know each other, and then like bond at that point.
So Sean, because Sean was saying um that he has a whole strategy because he was like, oh, so Jill doesn't really have anybody, but then he was also eyeing somebody else. Was it Alex or who was it? I think it was because he was like, oh, somebody, the other girl I like, she's already with somebody. So then if like I kind of fail with that or it doesn't really go anywhere, then I go home. But if I like go with Jill, she doesn't really have a connection now. So then
I don't
like
remember.
it's kind of like I don't remember either, but I remember that he said he had a strategy.
Probably Alex. I don't. Well,
It was
maybe.
probably, I think it was Alex.
Yeah, I don't know. I put there was a bat in the hotel room with the
Oh yeah,
Goldens.
it was really funny. And
Oh
Kathy's
my,
reaction, she was so like animated.
it was so crazy, and it's funny because there's a story apparently like years and years and years ago. My grandparents used to live upstairs, and I think there was a bat. I don't know the. It was before I was born, but apparently I think my grandmother came in and like hit the bat with a frying pan. Done. No,
I love, was it Keith? I don't know if Keith was the one in there or somebody, but it was one of the guys, and he was like, "I'll get like what?" He was like, "Whatever, I don't care." And then the
oh
cat
my
was just
gosh.
running around the room screaming. It was just the whole dynamic was really funny.
But then then they segued. Okay, so it was so creepy. Like they did the ad of like the I Know What You Did Last Summer because the movie's
Yeah,
coming out to today, the day we're filming actually.
that
And
scene with Jesse was so funny.
yeah, it was so nuts. And then who else comes out with like the ice pick thing, whatever for the ice? And he's like,
Uh-huh.
what? Um, but so they use that to like sponsor this whole like the secrets box. So basically what they had to do was go like they had to all put a secret into the box and then they
It was all
basically were
vote.
going to narrow it down to the juiciest secret and then whoever like as we see it's like they had a if the person that had the juiciest secret revealed themselves they would get to go to the vip bip um whatever the vip bip suite or whatever so I just the notes that I made about with the secrets was someone put like I did OnlyFans for feet and I was laughing I'm like oh it probably was not Andrew
No,
it was probably not Andrew.
not
Someone
Andrew.
said that they like hooked up with someone 25 years older. Who was that? Did somebody admit to that?
Oh, I don't have that, but I remember that. That was really interesting. I did write down that April said that she was the one that said she found the $500,000 and kept it.
I was like,
And I was like, damn. I was like, that's crazy.
then it was the summer as a playmate for a female couple was RJ.
Oh,
We're sharing this on YouTube, so I'm just being careful what I say. Then again, we've talked about worse in season one. But anyway, um, slept with another person in their home while their partner was in another room, and
and
that
that
was
was the
the
juicy. That was
juiciest
the one.
one.
Yes, which makes sense.
And it was Kathy,
And it was Kathy.
one of the
That's not a
Goldens.
surprise.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
I was like, Kathy, come on.
she's hysterical. So she won the key to the VIP suite. Um,
And Keith, and she invited Keith.
she invited Keith, the girl dad.
He was,
Um,
and I thought they seem like they're really, really like good together. They have that same
yeah.
energy. It's great.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, and then he admitted to her while they were in the room that he was the one that cheated on the
In
exam.
college, yeah.
Gosh. But it was just all the commentary that everybody was like making about them in the VIP
It
suite.
was so
So,
funny. I have the quote. You want to say it? If you
well,
have to.
which one?
I have Dale's.
Oh, I don't remember what Dale said.
He
All
was
right,
like,
you go with Dale's.
okay. It was like, everybody was talking. He was like, oh, someone's getting clapped tonight.
Oh, that's what he said. And then Andrew was like, and then Andrew was just like, maybe they're reading the Bible. But before Keith went up there, Jack was like, oh, you want to take Viagra to the VIP suite? And then also other things that were happening. Jack was like jealous because the captain, I forgot what his name is,
Oh
was
yeah.
rubbing April's shoulders. So Jack was a little jealous about that. And then April made the comment to Jonathan, if you need anything, I'm the second door on the right.
Oh yeah. And then they kept replaying it. I was
And they
like,
kept replaying it and replaying it and replaying it. And then
he was like, wait, what?
the quote I had, oh, Kathy was just like, I was just praying that Keith wasn't peeing in the hot tub.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
And again, like I said, they seem like they can have fun, but then also have a
yeah.
really like serious conversation. They like swim in the pool, drank, talked. So yeah, I thought it again that
Yeah.
was a good connection. So
Um, I think that was the biggest thing is then Jill and Jonathan get into this whole conversation. I don't even know how it got started, but I guess the whole point was that like Jill at one point had based no, Jonathan made a thing. I guess it was like earlier they had the conversation and he was basically saying something of like, "Oh, you might make my decision harder because it like he was like kind of interested in Jill, but then it was like then they seemed like they were just friends." And I think Jill was under the impression of like you're just giving me the vibe that we're just friends and then
yeah,
Jonathan now seems interested, so Jill's like confused. And I get it. Like I was got so lost, but it got
Mhm.
like almost defensive and he got kind of defensive. But I think personally, Jonathan was probably like, even if he understood that things weren't going to pan out with Alex anymore, I think
Yeah,
he still got like, oh man, like I don't have anybody with a rose. And I think this is where like Jonathan, having been kind of passive in this situation, is coming to like bite him now. Because it's like, yeah, it's fine if you're still deciding, but then it's like the fact that he got like defensive with Jill was not
yeah,
great. Um, and everybody was like watching the conversation
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
is happening. Um,
And I just wrote down again that the Jill is so animated because she was like really letting her animated like side come out. I was like, it makes sense, but
yeah, it's just that's the whole thing. And then of course they're gonna end the episode, but he's just like, well, if I've got to get a rose, like he's contemplating going to visit April. He is
of
gonna
course.
probably go talk to her just to get her advice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, of course that's the cliffhanger they're gonna end it on because they like replayed the second door. They just
Yeah, second
I
door
was
on the
like,
right.
I was
He's
like,
like, I don't know, maybe.
maybe. Oh,
Uh,
it's so funny.
so anyway, but then the promo looks very, very messy.
Very messy.
We just have a lot. Uh,
Yes.
going ahead. But I think this is the only like 2 episode week. So
Hopefully, it's just
have
5 hours
anything
is a
else?
lot. We love the show, but 5 hours is a lot. So hopefully, it's one episode a week.
Oh, did you have anything else?
I think that was it. Again, I thought it was interesting how they just had like so many new people arriving and the Goldens arriving. I just thought obviously there was a lot of craziness with like the
Yeah.
Lexi and Susie and Justin situation, but overall it was very entertaining. A lot of good connection. So yeah, I thought it was a good 2 episodes for sure.
Yeah. I think we'll see the dynamic of the Goldens being there like even more in the next week,
Yeah,
like the next week's episodes, because now they're going to be there for the duration of the time. But
exactly.
oh my goodness. All right. Well, we will wrap it up then
Yes.
for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and bearing with us. If you enjoyed this
Yes.
episode, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell, and also follow us on Instagram at Ballrooms and Bachelors. And I think there's nothing else really going on. We will see you next week.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.